Before you can understand who and what XG is, you first need to understand their origins. This briefing will help you understand the foundation of the group and the project behind them. With that context in place, we can now look at how XG came to be. Their story doesn't start on a stage. It starts years earlier, in the mind of a music producer who refused to follow the rules. Simon Park, professionally known as JAKOPS, was born in the United States to Japanese and Korean parents, a multicultural background that shaped the way he heard and created music. He had experienced the industry firsthand as a young idol before shifting into production, where he spent years quietly shaping Korean hip-hop and R&B from behind the scenes. A quiet architect in a loud industry. But around the late 2010s, he began pursuing something different, a vision outside the usual lanes of K-pop or J-pop. Then, in 2017, with support from ALPHAZ, one of Japan's largest entertainment companies, he launched a new project called XGALX, later renamed to XGALX. From the start, Simon made his intent clear. He didn't want to create another idol group. Instead, he set out to build something unprecedented, shaped by his own multicultural upbringing and driven by the hope of breaking national boundaries and bringing people together. That idea took form in a group of Japanese girls trained in Korea and performing in English on a global scale. He called this direction X-pop, a global form of expression not tied to the characteristics of any one country, built to reach people everywhere. For years, the work happened in silence. No teasers, no press, no leaks. Behind closed doors, trainees were pushed and molded through an intense multi-year program that blended Japanese discipline, Korean precision, and Simon's uncompromising standards. This wasn't just training. It was the foundation for the identity he envisioned, a blueprint for X-pop and for the artists who would carry it. The process wasn't easy. Day after day brought frustrations, tears, small victories, and bigger setbacks. Many trainees didn't make it through, friends who started together but quietly disappeared as the selection grew tighter and expectations grew heavier. The ones who remained carried that weight, the pressure to improve, the fear of not being enough, the unspoken understanding that only a few would reach the end, and the burden of knowing they would be the first group to debut from XGALX, stepping onto the stage as XG, the Extraordinary Girls who would redefine everything. When the world finally saw those first pre-debut videos, the members of XG had already spent 5 years fighting through training, failure, rebuilding, and growth no one ever saw. They weren't beginners, they were ready. Every second on screen carried the weight of everything they had endured, and the bond those years carved into them was something deeper than friendship or teamwork. There was a word for that bond, HESONOO. Rooted in the meaning of umbilical cord, it represented the single lifeline connecting them. 7 artists growing from one source, one struggle, one dream. Over time, HESONOO became more than a principle, it became ritual. Before every performance, they speak it together, a grounding chant that reminds them they rise as one. As videos of their performances started to spread online, a small but passionate community began forming almost instantly. Rumors began circulating, quiet at first and then louder. There was something different about these girls, their energy, their presence, the way they carried themselves. They felt otherworldly, almost alien-like, as if they weren't moving on the same wavelength as anyone else. What fans didn't know was that this feeling wasn't accidental. Long before debut, even in the earliest days of the project, Simon had already planted the seeds for a concept that stretched beyond the ordinary. A vision of strength, unity, and otherworldly identity that would eventually take shape. Over time, that spark evolved into something clearer. The otherworldly girls became the Galactic Wolves, powerful, instinctive, and connected by something deeper than music, leaders of their own pack. On July 25th, 2022, the fandom name ALPHAZ was officially announced. The idea was simple but powerful. If XG were the Galactic Wolves leading the way, then ALPHAZ would be the pack that runs with them. On February 2nd, 2023, XG introduced an official member name chant, inviting ALPHAZ to raise their voices and call out each member during performances. Originally introduced as a chant for the opening of Shooting Star, it quickly became more than cheering. The chant deepened the bond between ALPHAZ and XG, giving fans a way to show their support and move as one with the group and has since echoed across performances. Then, on June 2nd, 2023, in the transmission XG Tape Number 3B, XG's leader, Jurin Asaya, spoke 3 words that would forever mark the fandom and seal their bond with XG. ALPHAZ on deck. A call to arms. A rally cry. From that moment on, fans didn't just support XG, they stood together, recognizing one another as alphas across the universe, ready to move whenever that call was made. Briefing complete. Transitioning to member dossiers.